So in the last chapter, today we're going to start chapter 12, which is Bhakti Yoga. How to get yoga of Ishwar or be with Ishwar, be one with Ishwar through bhakti. That is Bhakti Yoga, yoga with bhakti. So in last chapter, Bhagavan showed Arjun his Vishwarup. And watching his Vishwarup, he knew how this whole Vishwa runs. It is Ishwar Shakti which is running everything. He is in control of everything. And it was Ugra Roop. Ugra Roop means he came, Bhagavan told him, I am the Kal, I am here to destroy everything. So that was the phase of the Vishwarup which Bhagavan showed to Arjun. Because he came with the purpose of destroying the adharma and establish the dharma again. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanit bhavati bhar. So he came for that purpose. And that's what he showed to Arjun. And then Arjun got scared and he said he wanted to see his four-armed Sarup again. That is Saumya Roop. Saum means Shant Roop. So Bhagavan said, when Bhagavan showed him the four-armed form and described how Jeev can enter Ishwar Sarup. So four-armed form Bhagavan showed, and then he said it cannot be reached. It can only be reached through my Ananya Bhakti. Bhaktya Ananya Twanya. Bhaktya Twananya Shakya. This is 54th shlok in chapter 11. So he says this can only be seen by those who do my Ananya Bhakti. Then in the next shlok in the same chapter, he started to tell about mat karma, mat bhakto, mat sangha varjita. So he says, do karma for me. He can also reach to me. So there are two different kind of bhakti here, Bhagavan told Arjun. So now Arjun has a question. Okay? So he says, now please know that one who enters into bhakti of none other than Ishwar, okay, which is Ananya Bhakti, is a rare person. Everybody cannot do that. Earlier in chapter 7, Bhagavan said, in the Gyan Vigyan Yoga, Sri Bhagavan told Arjun that hardly one among thousands of men strive to realize me. Among thousands, only maybe one person will think about coming to me. Of those striving yogi, again some rare one, devoting himself exclusively to me, knows me in reality. This is the shlok number 3 in chapter 7. So this shows us that to be a Ishwar Bhakt is a rarity. Not everybody does become Ishwar Bhakt. Very few people will get to become Ishwar Bhakt. Because this Maya, the sansar, is so attracted to senses that person cannot get away from it. Okay? Now, here we are looking at the bhakti of Ishwar. Bhakti can be bhakti of anybody. You can do bhakti of Devta. There are people who are Shiv Bhakt. There are people who are Vishnu Bhakt, right? So, you can do bhakti of anything, but bhakti is a generic term. Here what we are looking at is bhakti of Ishwar. So, does it not make sense that we know Ishwar whose bhakti we are to do. We are doing whose bhakti. We have to know what Ishwar is before we do his bhakti. You cannot do bhakti unless you know. So what is Ishwar? So question comes, what is Ishwar? Ishwar is a sarup. Okay? Avyakt. It's not vyakt. It's not unmanifested. It is sarup. Then the question comes up as to what is sarup? What is the meaning of sarup? So sarup is which has a presence. Okay? Swarup is what has a presence. So the Swarup of Ishwar has universal presence. Is present everywhere, at all time, in and out everywhere. So that's Ishwar Swarup. And that is what Ishwar is. Ishwar is Swarup, is the presence. Is present among us, within us, everywhere is present. It's not something they can go and catch and hold and hang on to. No. It is there, it is Swarup. Swarup means its presence. And those who try to pursue Ishwar get to know what the presence is. He shows him the presence. Now, to Arjun, he shows physically the presence in Vishwarup. Right? But those people who are Jnani, Bhakt, they actually see the Swarup, the presence of Ishwar. So this is what we're going to do, bhakti. Whose bhakti we're going to do? To Ishwar. So Ishwar bhakti, we now have to know what Ishwar is. And then how to do Ishwar bhakti. You can only do Ishwar bhakti the way Ishwar tells us to do. Okay? You cannot just think this is how I'm going to do bhakti, or I saw somebody do this, so that's what I'm going to do. No. Ishwar tells how to do his bhakti. So what Bhagavan says here, bhaktya ananyaya, so bhaktya to ananyaya shakya. Those who do my ananya bhakti, he says, do my bhakti how? Ananya bhakti. Me and me alone, none other. And you have to give, it's got to be nitya yukta. Nitya yukta means you have to be with him all the time, for whole life. Okay? That is what Ishwar Bhakti is. So, Arjun described in Shlok 19 of chapter 11 that the Vishwarup, which he was witnessing, is without beginning, middle and end. Okay? So we talked about Sarup, which is everywhere. The presence is everywhere. And that's what Arjun said. Because he saw the Vishwarup. He says, I cannot see the beginning, middle or end, nothing. I see it everywhere. It's present everywhere. So the Ishwar Sarup has the presence which is way beyond Vishwarup. What he saw was Vishwarup, but Ishwar way beyond Vishwarup. You see behind me in this picture, Vishwarup is there, and then Maya and the Ishwar is further up. So it's way beyond Vishwarup. So, and Ishwar is unique. There is nothing like Ishwar. Huh? And he is unique in being beyond everything and cannot be known unless Ishwar wants one to know thee. And it is only Ishwar who can tell about Ishwar. That's it. You cannot find out what Ishwar is by reading books written by somebody. No. Ishwar will tell you what Ishwar is. Nobody else can tell. Ishwar is unique. Okay? He is present everywhere all the time. Who else can tell about who is present everywhere? Nobody else is present everywhere. So how can he tell what Ishwar is? So Ishwar tells to whom he wants to tell what he is. This happens to only a few. Not everybody get to know this. That is why being Ishwar Bhakt is a rarity. Very rare. They are very rare. Now we take up bhakti. So we saw Ishwar, little bit about Ishwar. Now we take bhakti. Bhakti is an action, a kriya, which translates the jnana into action. Okay? Bhakti is kriya which translates jnana into action. Jnana has to be translated into action to be useful. Jnana itself will do you no good. Even day-to-day life, you know how to fix something, but unless you do it, it won't get fixed. Correct? You have the jnana to put the light bulb in the socket, but you're not going to do that, it won't be in the socket then. So, jnana has to be translated. Okay? And that's what karma yoga comes into play. That's why Bhagavan said, first he told jnana and then he told karma yoga. Because use that jnana to perform the karma. Okay? So bhakti is a kriya which translates the jnana into action or karma. In bhakti there are two entities. One who does the bhakti is called bhajak. Okay? One who does the bhakti is bhajak. Here the letter ka, bhajak in bhajak, the letter ka stands for one who is the doer of the bhakti. Then the one whose bhakti is being performed, and bhakti is also called bhajan. Bhajan doesn't mean singing songs, no. Bhajan is bhakti. Is called bhaj. Whose bhakti we are doing is called bhaj. So there is bhajak and there is bhaj. Bhajak is the one who is doing the bhakti of the one who is bhaj. The bhakti of Ishwar is called Ananya Bhakti because there is nothing like Ishwar. So it's Ananya Bhakti. The bhakti of none other than Ishwar, the only one. The bhakt is also karma yogi. Okay. People say bhakti yoga and karma yoga. Karma yogi is bhakt actually. Okay? And we will see how. The bhakt does not ask for anything. We do prayer every day, we ask for something, correct? I want this, I want to get this. This work is not getting done, I want to get it, please get it done. We do puja and all that every day. But the bhakt is not asking for anything. In his prayers, he doesn't ask for anything. Because that's what bhakti is. Asking for anything is indicative of attachment, more, delusion. Why you want to ask for something? Because you want it, correct? And this want is more. Wanting something is more, attachment. Bhakti doesn't have that. So, a true bhakt practices a total self-surrender. You understand what this means? Total self-surrender. He gives himself totally, completely. So, most well-known bhakt in Hindu literature is Lakshman. Lakshman was bhakt of his brother Ram. And until and unless Ram will tell him something, he won't do whatever. He does only what Ram tells him to do. And Ram never asked him to go and eat something. So for all those years, he did not eat or drink or anything. He just kept working for Ram. That is total surrender. Okay? A true bhakt does total self-surrender. He lives only for his bhaj. He lives only for the one whose bhakti he is doing. Okay? Nobody else. Because living for some other entity or some other person is moh. And Ishwar has no moh in it. It's nirmohi. So if you're doing bhakti of Ishwar, you are not doing for anybody else but Ishwar only. There is no release from the cycle of birth and death without Gyan. So now we come to Gyan. You cannot get release from cycle of birth and death without Gyan. Gyan is the key. However, bhakti, which is also karma, is essential to mobilize the process of Gyan. You have the Gyan, but now to use that Gyan so you don't come back again in this sansar, there you have to do bhakti. You have to get into bhakti, that karma. And that karma, the Bhagavad Bhakti, will translate Gyan into action, through which we will get out of this cycle of birth and death. That is the goal. So all three, the Gyan, Bhakti and Karma, come together. Understand now? Gyan, Bhakti and Karma, they are all together now in the end. These are not separate. Where did Bhagavan said in Gita? He said, those who consider Gyan and Karma separate are balak, ignorant. They don't know. Because Bhakti and Gyan are one and the same. In Sansar, Bhakti of Parmeshwar is the karma of all human beings. That is why the creation was done. In every philosophy, be it Western or Eastern, Bhakti has been given much importance. Bhakti has its own place. Christians do Bhakti too. Muslims do Bhakti. Every dharma. There is, whether Western, Eastern, there is Bhakti always. And that is considered the highest thing you can do. Adi Shankaracharya, who arrived at the peak of Hindu dharma in Gyan, he became wonder-struck and speechless. At the end, he became speechless. He had the Gyan, he became speechless. And he started to do stuti of Hari. That's why they call Hari Om, Hari Om. Okay. So he too started to do bhakti in the end. Sri Bhagavan says that the truth can be known or obtained through bhakti, devotion, and shraddha, meaning faith. You have to have unshakable faith. Otherwise, you cannot do bhakti. You will wander somewhere else then. So, is there a competition between Gyan and Bhakti as to which one is superior? If Gyan Yoga, which some call Buddhi Yoga, is superior, then why did Sri Bhagavan told Arjuna in chapter 2, Shlok 39, that this Buddhi has been presented to you from the point of view of Gyan Yoga. Now you listen this from the standpoint of Karma Yoga. Endued with the Buddhi, this Buddhi for the Karma Yoga, you will be able to completely cast off the shackles of karma. Moksha. Then in chapter 3, when Arjuna asked Bhagavan to please tell me the definite path, Jnana Yoga or the Karma Yoga, by which I can obtain the highest. Remember that in chapter 3? In the very beginning he asked. Sri Bhagavan tells Arjuna that in the beginning of the creation, I enunciated two types of nishtha. For the nishtha of Sankhya Yogi, the path is Jnana Yoga. And for the yogi, it is Karma Yoga. Then Bhagavan goes on to say that no one can exist at any time, even for an instant, without performing action. Okay? So, for everyone is helplessly driven to action by the three guna of the born out of Prakriti. Thus, the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti, is the path for all to achieve release from the cycle of birth and death. Okay? However, Jnana, Bhakti and Karma are not separate paths from each other. You start from one may start this journey to moksha with one of these paths, three paths. However, in the end, will need to embrace all three. So when he's doing bhakti at the end of Ishwar, he's doing bhakti, he's doing through Gyan. Okay? That Gyan is there behind him all the time. Otherwise, bhakti won't be done. When man embraces all three, he is called Yukt or integrated man. He becomes an integrated man. He is integrated all three, Jnana, Bhakti and Karma. They are all integrated into him. He is Yukt. That is what we call Yog Yukt. Okay? So Arjuna poses a question to Sri Bhagavan as to what are the forms of bhakti.
Arjuna uvacha evam satatayuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha.
Evam. Arjuna Bhagavan is in this slok says Evam. Thus, ye, those satat yukta, constantly steadfast. You just heard what yukt means, right? Yukt is the person who is integrated person, who has karma, bhakti, jnana all in him. He knows all about these three. And he acts, he does bhakti through all these three. So, that person, those satat yukta, he is yukt all the time. He has given his whole life to this. There is not even a moment where he is not yukt. So, satat yukta. Satat means constantly. Bhakta, devotees. Paryupasate, worship thee. Okay? Upasana means, there is upasate, this word is upasana. What upasana means? Upasan. Up means beside him, by the side of the person who is doing bhakti of, and upasan. He sits right next to the person whose bhakti he is doing. And he is doing bhakti. Right in front of him he is sitting there. So what is this meaning? This means, Bhagavan says, he is worshipping the Vyakt Parameshwar. The Parameshwar is right in front of him. So he is doing, so about him, what he says, those, they worship thee, and those also, there is other one, who worship Akshar Avyaktam. Aksharam Avyaktam. Akshar means imperishable. One, there is no kshar in there. It always remains the same. Imperishable, unmanifested. Aksharam Avyaktam. Okay? So here you see the first one, Bhagavan told about the person in front of whom his Ishwar is sitting there. Ishwar avatar is right there. So he is doing right that way. And second one, who is worshipping the Aksharam Avyaktam, who is not there. He is Akshar, but he cannot be seen. Okay? Unmanifested. Ke tesham yoga vittama. Which of them are better worse in yoga? That's the question of Arjun. Arjun asking, because in chapter 11, in last two shlok, Bhagavan told about two different kind of bhakt. So now he is asking, among these two, who are well versed in yoga? In this shlok, there are some words which need to be understood. First, we will take up the word yukt. It means those who are engaged in the devotion for the yoga with the Parameshwar. Yoga sadhana. He is doing sadhana for getting the yoga of Parameshwar. Be one with him. They are the integrated ones. Their engagement in devotion is constant, satat. They stick to the daily regimen and practice devotion all times. Okay? They are not the people who say, well, I go in the morning, sit down for 5 minutes, do my puja, then I go do something else, then I come back again in the evening, oh, I do 3 times a day. I think that's bhakti, that's good. That's not it. Satat. Constantly he does. Even if he is doing something else, he is still doing bhakti in his mind. He is not. Never. There is no time that he is not doing bhakti. Next is bhakt. The word is bhag, a piece. There is a Hindi word called bhag, means a piece, from which the word bhakti is derived. Bhakti or devotion can only happen when there are two separate entities. The one who does the bhakti and the other whose bhakti is being done. In this shlok, Arjuna is asking about two kind of people, because in chapter 11, shlok 53, Sri Bhagavan said that this form of mind which you have seen, the Chaturbhuj arm, Chaturbhuj Roop, cannot be seen through Vedas, nor through tap, dan, or yagna. No matter what you do out of these things, it cannot be seen through these. So how can it be seen? This form of mind, Bhagavan says, can be seen only through my Ananya Bhakti. Shlok 54. And what happens in the Ananya Bhakti? In it, one knows me through Gyan. That's what Bhagavan told in there. One knows me through Gyan, which is Shabda Gyan. Then he sees me, which is Aparoksh Gyan. And then he enters into me, which is Vishesh Gyan. So Gyan is important. See the role of Gyan in getting mukti, getting to Ishwar? Is the only thing. Gyan can only do that. This is the last gati of Jeev. Not human. Jeev. Last gati of Jeev. Which means last place he goes to. There is nothing beyond it. This is what is moksha. When Jeev enters the Ishwar Sarup, that is moksha. There is a light which has only the bliss in it. This Sarup is a light which is full of bliss. That's all there is. Nothing else. Anand. It's called Ananda Sarup. Therefore, one form of Sri Bhagavan Krishna was Rasrup. Okay? People did not see this, but they called it Ras. We do Ras, don't we? So that is the Rasrup of Bhagavan Krishna. There was Ras all the time. There was pleasantry all the time, bliss, Shanti. That's Rasrup. So we called it Ras. Nobody saw that. Just some people saw it. It was seen by Uddhav, Rukmini, and Kunti. Those three saw that Rasrup of Bhagavan Krishna. So Arjun wants to know that this first one, which was Gyan obtained through the practice of Ananya Bhakti, as described in Shlok 54, and the second one described by Bhagavan in Shlok 55, where Bhagavan said that the one who does not all karma for me alone and mat parmo, he knows me as the param, means beyond all. Param means he is pare, param, beyond everything. Mad karma, mad bhakt, he is my bhakt and is free from all attachment. Sangha varjita. He need nothing from the sansar. Sangha varjita means sang of sansar is varjit. He is gone. He doesn't want anything from it. Whatever sansar has, sansar can keep it. He doesn't want. He doesn't need anything. He bears no enmity towards anybody, any creature. To him, all the creatures are Jeev. They are same. He entereth into me. Which one of these two is better worse on yoga? That is the question of Arjun. The first one, doing the Ananya Bhakti of the Avyakt Parameshwar, or the second one, who does the Bhakti of Vyakt Sakar Parameshwar. See which one is better. These days, those who worship Paramatma, worship thee with mantra, and those who worship thee with murti are considered as worship of Nirakar and Sakar. So some people worship through just mantra, and others have to have murti in front of them, and they say that is Sakar, worship of the Sakar Paramatma. The truth is that the one who worships the Murti is also worshipping the Avyakt Paramatma. Because in that Murti there is no Ishwar. If you take a rock from somewhere and carve a Murti, there is no Ishwar in it. But people go to temple and everywhere and they do puja, right, of that Murti. There is nobody in there. No Ishwar is not there. Okay? Nobody has seen Ishwar. So how do they know this is this shape the Ishwar Murti should be? Question comes, how do they know? It depends who is making the Murti, who is carving it. So, he does not see Ishwar, he sees only the Murti. Therefore, earlier in Maharashtra, it was acceptable to put little vermilion powder on any rock and worship it. And that is what was Satyam Shivam Sundaram. That's what is in there. You do not need any Murti to worship. Because those who are using Murti, they are also worshipping Avyakt Paramatma. Because they know Vyakt Paramatma in that Murti. Ishwar is Avyakt and is everywhere. There is no Murti of Ishwar. Ishwar is called Amurt. Amurt means no Murti. It is our own imagination that we say that Bhagwan Sri Krishna looked like this. Now, I have a picture, and most of you have that picture too, of Bhagwan Krishna, with his flute and everything. And I took it somewhere to get it framed. And the person says, this is a nice lady. Long hairs and everything, So nobody really knows what Bhagwan Krishna looked like, but they all try to make the Murti and pictures of Bhagwan Krishna and they do puja of that. So what are they doing? They are also doing the prayer, the upasana of the Avyakt Paramatma. There is no Vyakt Paramatma sitting in that Murti or the picture. It's good for decoration, but it really doesn't have any essence in it. So the question of Arjun is straightforward. He says, Evam satat yuktaye bhaktya anya paripasate. He says, when thou art present in thy manifested form in front of thy bhakt, okay? When thou art present in thy manifested form in front of thy bhakt, who worship thee, unmanifested form of thee, and when thou leave those who worship thee through thy jnana in thy absence, which one of these two is Shresht or superior? Okay? So there is Vyakt Paramatma, those who are doing bhakti, and that when just like Bhagavan Krishna, he left. Okay, he gone. So, but people do bhakti of Bhagavan Krishna as a Vyakt Paramatma. Which one of the two are superior? Shresht. A straightforward question. The one who is in front of the Vyakt or the Sakar while worshipping must be superior. Okay, you'll say, yeah, that person is superior. His karma is such that Ishwar revealed himself to the Bhakt. He became prakat ho gaya. You see, the thing is, Ishwar Avatar may be sitting in any form, but he only becomes prakat or vyakt to the person who is supposed to know him. Other people would not know. So that is his karma. His karma is such a great karma that Paramatma came and showed himself to him. We need to do such karma in this human body of ours, in this life, that in the next life, Ishwar will appear in front of us and reveal himself. Okay? That will be great karma, won't it? If we can do that karma, which will bring Ishwar from Avyakt and make him Vyakt in front of us and tell us that I am Paramatma, just like Bhagavan Krishna told Arjun, I am Ishwar, Ishwaroham. Tu meri bhakti kar, nobody else, because I am Ishwar. Nobody else said that. Among all those who are worshipped in any religion, none identified themselves as Ishwar. Muhammad said that he was only Pagambar, the messenger. Christ said that he was the son, not Ishwar. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna unequivocally declared that I am Ishwar, the creator, and he showed that in the Vishwarup. Bhaktastva paryupaste, those who worship thee. This does not include us who worship Bhagavan Sri Krishna today. Okay? Today, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is not being present. Our bhakti too is that of the Akshar Avyakt. Whatever bhakti we do, our bhakti is of the Akshar Avyakt. Now Sri Bhagavan gives Arjun answer to his question. Let us listen to what Bhagavan tells Arjun.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Te Me Yukta Tamamataha.
Here Sri Bhagavan is enumerating the characteristics of Bhakt, the lakshans of Bhakt. The Bhakt who worship me, says Sri Bhagavan, ye mai man avesh. Mayavesh mana. Ye mai man avesh. Those Bhakt completely fix their mind into me and nitya yukta upasate mam, are constantly engaged in worshipping me, the Sagun Parameshwar, as described in chapter 11, Shlok 55. And how do they engage in me, in my worship? Upeta Shraddhaya Parya. Endowed with utmost or the supreme Parya. Matlab there is nothing beyond that. The Shraddha is the ultimate Shraddha. So Parya Shraddha, the ultimate Shraddha. You know, what is ultimate Shraddha? Huh? Total Shraddha. I mean, you cannot shake his Shraddha away from him. He is not willing to hear any criticism of his Paramatma. Okay? His Shraddha is such. He totally believes in his Paramatma. So Bhagavan says they are doing my bhakti. How? Upeta Shraddhaya Parya. Endowed with the utmost Shraddha or reverence. Okay? Te me yukta tama mata. In my opinion, Bhagavan says, they are the best words in yoga. Here Bhagavan did not say that the one who is worshipping him and the one who is worshipping the Avyakt, imperishable, Akshar, Avyakt, among them, which one is superior in yoga? He didn't say that. He didn't differentiate. He just said, what is the characteristic of my bhakt? He described what is their conduct, acharan. Shri Bhagavan says, Ye mai mana, avesh. They fix their mind in me. Having done this, all his senses stop their function. When the mind isn't given to Paramatma, then Indriya becomes subdued. He doesn't need to eat, he doesn't need to drink, he doesn't need to do anything. So when can this happen? When he sees the Ishwar Sarup. Okay? And how does he put his mind in me? Nitya yukta upasate. They worship me constantly. There is no time to go to do anything else. This upasana of his for his entire life. They have given their life to me, Bhagavan says. Here the first thing is to put the mind in Ishwar so that it is removed or disengaged from all Vishay. When mind is engaged totally in Ishwar, then the mind cannot engage himself into any Vishay. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. Chapter 2, Bhagavan says. His Vishay leaves. And to the extent that his rasna also goes away. He has no rasna for anything. So, the second thing is Nitya Yoga. This means to give the entire life to this worship, this sadhana. The third thing is that they have supreme Shraddha in me. He does not bear any talk against me. He cannot hear anything against me, Bhagavan says. You know who said derogatory things to Bhagavan? It was Duryodhana. Right? When he went with the peace proposal, then Duryodhana called him Gwala, and he tried to imprison him. He couldn't, because he then showed his Virat Roop there. So, this is how they do my bhakti, Bhagavan said. This is the one who sees the Ishwar Sarup. His Ashta Swabhav go away. What are the Ashta Swabhav? Kshuddha, Pipasa, Mala, Mutra, Shita, Ushna, Bhaya, Nidra. So he need not eat, drink, go to bathroom, cold or heat doesn't bother him, and his fear go away, and he doesn't even need to sleep. There is no need for anything. The body doesn't need anything. When he does that, what happened to him now? He is totally detached from sansar. These ash swabhav are sansaric swabhav. So when that go away, he is free to do whatever he wants, he is doing. Now nothing comes in the way then. Having seen the Ishwar Sarup and giving his whole life to Parameshwar, he is now free of all bodily needs. His body functions on the power of Parameshwar. Body runs, everything goes on. He doesn't need to eat. This is the description of Premi Bhakt. Okay? Because he has seen Paramatma. Now we take up the other Bhakt in the next two shloks.
ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्.
But those who worship paripasate, they worship the aksharam, imperishable, unchangeable, anirdesham, indefinable. There is no nirdesh. You cannot define that who you worshipping. Avyaktam, unmanifested. Sarvatragam, meaning he is sarva vyapak, he is everywhere. Achintya, achintya, you cannot even think about him. That entity you are worshipping, Avyakt, is beyond your thinking. Cannot think about him. He is one beyond man and buddhi. Thinking comes in man and buddhi. So he is beyond man and buddhi. And kutastham, remaining at the highest state, unchangeable, achalam, immovable, dhruvam, eternal. So these are the characteristics of the Avyakt, Akshar Avyakt Parameshwar, who we worship. So these are those who practice Ishwar Bhakti through Ishwar Gyan in the absence of Vyakt Parameshwar. So when the Parameshwar is Vyakt, you are in front of him, you are doing his Bhakti. When he is not there, then you are doing the Bhakti of Avyakt Akshar Parameshwar. And how do they worship? The Avyakt Akshar is in the next shloka.
सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः.
Sanyendriya Gramam. They have controlled all groups of senses, both the Jnanendriya and the Karmendriya. These are the two groups or gram of senses, Indriya. Sarvatra Sambuddhaya, their buddhi becomes equanimous at all places. Sambuddhi, they don't differentiate between anybody. To them, everybody is same. All this happens because of the Gyan. Without Gyan, this cannot happen. So Gyan Shakti does this, which is now working in him as a result of his worship of the Avyakt Akshar. So when you worship Avyakt Akshar, you get Gyan, and that Gyan has this effect that you see everybody as yourself. Everybody is same. They are in the same boat. There is Jeev in every one of them. He bears no enmity towards anyone. Nobody is enemy. He is friend to all. These are all actions of Gyan. What happens to them? Sarva Bhuta Hite Rata. They are absorbed. Rata means he is totally absorbed. Rati. In the welfare of all Prani Bhut. He does things for the welfare of everybody. No matter whether he is short, tall, black, white, whatever. It doesn't matter. And te prapnuvanti mameva. Verily they reach myself only. They get to me, Bhagavan said. We can understand that when the avatar is present and is in front, the bhakt can do service to thee by following thy direction. But how does the bhakt worship the Avyakt Akshar? We will go into this now. Sannendriya Gramam. First, the control of all groups of senses. So, the question is how to exercise control over all senses. Okay? You won't feel hungry. How can you do that? You won't feel thirsty. Whether it's cold, doesn't matter to you. Whether it's hot, doesn't matter to you. How you do that? To accomplish this, one needs to harness the power beyond that of the senses. The power that controls the senses. That is what you have to harness. In chapter 3, Shlok 42, Sri Bhagavan said that the senses are said to be superior to the body. They are more powerful than body. The mind is superior to senses. So mind is the master of senses. The intellect or the buddhi is superior to mind. And that which is superior to in the intellect is the calm. Okay? Now the calm is not a separate entity. What is calm? What is calm? Let's go into what is calm. It's not a separate entity. It is the property of the faculty called chit. In chit, there are thoughts keep coming one after the other, just like in the ocean there are waves coming in. So in chit this happens constantly, all the time is happening. So the chit is also consciousness within us. That is what chit is. So calm is the property of chit, which is also called Atma. Okay, how is calm? How is chit Atma? The Chatushtai, Man, Buddha, Chit, Ahankar is also called Atma. That is also, word is used, Atma used for that too. Man is also Atma. So, some people confuse this Atma with Jivatma. Jivatma is different. So, the calm, which is the drive, the operative word is the drive to do something. What is calm? Calm is the drive to do something. I want to do this. I am going to do this. So when buddhi will stop man or the mind because it's superior to the mind, then the calm will be destroyed. Okay? He says in chapter 3, Slok 43, Bhagavan says that knowing the intellect to be superior, you should stop Atmanam, the Atma, Atmana, with Atma. Stop Atma with Atma. Here Atmanam refers to the mind or the man. And Atmana is for the intellect, buddhi. So when buddhi will stop the man, because it's superior to the man, then the calm will be destroyed. That drive to do this and do that will be gone. What drive we have to do this and do that? In samsara, I want to be the greatest. I want to make so much money. This person has so much, I want to have more than that. And there is a drive to do that. Right? Always competition there. And that competition will go away. Once the buddhi controls the mind, tells the mind to stop this, and the calm will be stopped. Okay? It will destroy it. Here buddhi is, what kind of buddhi it is? Is the one endued with jnana, yukt with jnana. Bhagavan Krishna calls it Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. In chapter 2, Shlok 41. That kind of buddhi, which is endued with Gyan, the Gyan is working in that buddhi, telling what is right or what is wrong, and that buddhi then tells mind to stop this. And when mind is to say, stop this, that means there is no calm. Thought process is gone. You're only thinking about Paramatma, not anything else. That's what this is. Calm is for sansar, to get things in sansar. That is what calm, kamna, desire. So now we come back to Sannendriya and Grama. So the Bhakt first pursues the Gyan, and with the power of the Gyan exercises control over his senses. That's what Bhakt does. Remember now, this Bhakt is the one who is worshipping Akshar Abhyaktam, Aksharam Abhyaktam. Bhagavan is not in front of you. He gets the Gyan from the Guru. The Guru also gives him a mantra with which he does the sadhana. Jap, he does jap of that mantra. This mantra has the Shakti of Paravacha. Okay? It's not some just any mantra. Because he is going towards Ishwar, which is Param. Okay? Ishwar's Vacha is called Paravacha. If Parameshwar comes in, it talks in Paravacha. Which means it's a Shakti, there is a power, Para Shakti in it. So that mantra has that Shakti. While doing the jap of this mantra, it is the power of the mantra which is important and not the words or their meaning. In jap, one makes a lakshya, a goal, a center point, at which he keeps looking and recites the mantra. But when you're looking at that point all the time with both eyes open, that can start to zero your mind into that. Mind is not going to wavering anymore. It becomes concentrating on that one point. And he looking at and recites the mantra at the same time, he imagines each word of the mantra in his mind. He tries to see those words in his mind. That is how he does the job. With practice, the power of mantra energizes his mind. Okay? So that power of the mantra, which is what? Parashakti, that energizes his mind. Thus, the mind is now meditating on that mantra. This way, the center of the mind, his mind is centered into Ishwar, which is Aksharam, imperishable, unchangeable, Abhyaktam, unmanifest, Abhyakt, Sarvatragam, and Kutastham, meaning the highest state. When the mind is centered, endued with this Gyan Shakti, then it is the highest state. Dhruvam, Achalam Dhruvam, immovable and is eternal. Dhruv Tara is always there, at the same place, doesn't move. So continuously practicing this way, devoting as much time as he can, one day all thoughts will cease to come into his mind. This way he exercises control over his senses. Sanendriyam Grama. He means well to all creatures, and he comes to me, says Bhagavan. The Bhakt knows Ishwar through Gyan. In the other instance, the Bhakt is looking at Vyakt Paramatma. But here, there is no Vyakt Paramatma, it is Avyakt. So, he knows that Avyakt through Gyan. This is the characteristics of a Jnani. When here Bhagavan says that he comes to me, he is talking about the Vyakt Parameshwar. Because Bhagavan is in front of Arjuna, they are saying, he comes to me. So, by doing the bhakti of the Avyakt, one day he comes to the Vyakt Paramatma. This Jnani will be born in the home of a pure and prosperous person. In chapter 6, slok 41, Bhagavan tells that. There he will get the yoga of the Sakar Ishwar. Ishwar avatar will come and take him with him. The avatar will give him aparoksh Gyan and guide him through the Vishesh Gyan and take him into Prapti of the Ishwar Sarup. So here, by doing the bhakti of Avyakt Akshar Paramatma through the jap of the mantra which has the power of Paravacha, that power empowers our minds and control the senses. Your needs will be less and less and less. And eventually in the next life, if we had completed, we did not complete the whole thing, then in next life, we will be born into some prosperous Shuchi Shrimad. And there the Vyakt Paramatma will appear and take us, giver of all the Gyan, and take us into moksha. It is only the Vyakt who can do that. Avyakt cannot do anything. So, Bhagavan says, this is what Sri Bhagavan is saying. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Verily they reach myself only. Inasmuch as that for everyone whose turn has come, an avatar will appear to take him to Ishwar Prapti. For each individual bhakt who has completed his bhakti, an individual, a separate Parameshwar avatar will appear to take him through into Prapti. See how much Bhagavan does for us. Just think, he is everywhere, right? All the time. He can appear anytime, anywhere, at will. If he sees there is a bhakt who is now he needs to be taken through the process of moksha, going and take him to the mukti, he will appear and take him there. Other one was the Parameshwar right in front of him, the bhakt. So there is no problem. Here, Parameshwar is not. He is doing the upasana of Akshar Avyakt. Then at the end, when he completes his upasana, then next life, the Avyakt will become Vyakt and take him through the moksha, to the moksha. Okay? So there are two kinds of bhakti here. Avatar can appear anywhere at any time. Thus, there is always Ishwar Avatar somewhere. There is no time that Ishwar Avatar is not there. The Ishwar Avatar always somewhere. There is some Jeev Atma who have completed the sadhana. We don't know them. And for them, the Ishwar takes avatar and takes him through into moksha. We are only concerned in what we're going to eat tomorrow or what we're going to wear and what we're going to do. We are completely engrossed into this whole thing. Okay? We don't know anything else. But this bhakt is very high state. So, one is the premi bhakt, and now the other is jnani bhakt. The jnani bhakt faces many problems, obstacles, and has to make a great deal of effort in his bhakti of the Avyakt Akshar Parameshwar. So this is Bhagavan's what says in next shlok.
क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिरवाप्यते.
Tesham, those Avyakt Asakt Chetasam, whose chit is set on the Avyakt. Chetasam means they are conscious, is on the Avyakt, Asakt with Avyakt. Their Asakti is not in anything else. Okay, their Asakti is not in worldly things. Their chit, Asakti of the chit is in the Avyakt. Those Avyakt Asakt Chetasam, in their path of bhakti, klesha adhiktara. Lot of work. There is vishesh parishram. They have to make lot of effort. It's not simple, not easy. They have to work harder than the other bhakt, who in front of whom Parmeshwar avatar was there. The one who is doing the avyakt bhakti, they have to go through lot of effort. Because they have vadbhi. For the embodied humans, avyakta gatim, the goal of the avyakt, avapyate, is reached dukkham, with pain. Lot of pain they have to go through. When they do something, some bhakti, people in their family also don't say, hey, what are you doing here? Do this. Why are you wasting your time in this? Because they don't know. Okay. Other people will say, well, look at him. He's always doing bhakti or this, So because he is now getting out of this sansar, he has to face lot of obstacles. Because until now, he was engrossed in sansar. Now he's getting out of sansar. How much pain there is to leave something. Right? If you have a favorite car and it's taken away from you, feel pain, won't you? Right? So, he's leaving sansar. Slowly, sansar is getting away from him. Because he's doing the bhakti of Avyakt Akshar Parameshwar. So there's lot of klesh, matlab lot of pain he has to endure. Dukh. This is simple meaning of the shlok. But we need to understand this in detail. It says, their practice, their abhyas, includes controlling the body. What they are doing abhyas of? Controlling the body, pran, senses and mind. This is what he has to do. For this, they do asan. Now this is from the Yoga Shastra. They do asan to control their body. Pranayam, to bring their pran into control. Niyam. Pratyahar and dharana. And in the end comes dhyan. For dhyan, he needs an object in front to concentrate on. That is how dhyan is practiced. Usually he places murti in front. However, the murti has no connection to Krishna. There is no connection to Krishna. This is one obstacle. In that the murti is carved in the likeness of us, humans. because nobody knows what Krishna looked like. Since no one knows how Krishna looked like, furthermore, they bathe. Now what these people do, some of them, they bathe the Murti, snan karate. They feed the Murti and put Murti in a comfortable bed at night. They even put on a fan for the Murti in summertime. All these have no relevance to the worship. It's totally irrelevant. But we do it because we want to see that Murti in our, like us. They become obstacle in the sadhana of the one whose chit is set in avyakt. With all these obstacles and hard work, it is not possible to do worship of the avyakt. Very difficult. However, it can happen. The example is that of Gandhari in Mahabharata. She practiced the concentration of her mind, dhyan, and she achieved the power to make the body of Duryodhan like Vajra. She had to just look at him, and his body became Vajra. That was her sadhana. She concentration and dhyan. That's how she did it. She was able to get this power through dhyan. Some of these people go into samadhi. Those who do dhyan, they do go into samadhi, so that their mind becomes void of all thoughts. This is called nirvikalpa samadhi. There is no vikalp, there is no thought process in the mind. They can get so powerful that they can even walk on water. So if it is nearly impossible, what will happen to the efforts those practice this? Because it's hard to do, it's nearly impossible. But they are doing it, so what will happen to them? Will all their effort go wasted? No, they have left so many worldly pleasures through the control of senses for Ishwar. Therefore, Ishwar will not let their effort go to waste, because he is doing everything for Ishwar, Avyakt but Ishwar. Now that they have come to on the righteous path, they will definitely get something in return. In addition to renouncing the worldly pleasure, they must do something more. It is sarvatra sambuddhaya. Through Gyan, they must understand that there is Atma in everything. And in the Sarvatmak way, Ishwar too is there in everything. Ishwar itself not, but Ishwar Sarvatmak Roop, in Sarvatmak Roop, Ishwar is there. Sarvatmak means he is Atma of Sarv, means everyone. Therefore, what he needs to do, he needs to become Samdarshana and look at all as same. He needs to become Sardarshana through equal bhav and sarvabhut hite rata. That's what he has to do. Look towards the welfare of all prani bhut. They need to do these two remedies, these two upaya. Besides Indriya control, they have to do these two things. What are these two things? Samdarshana and Sarvabhut hite rata. That should be his passion, to help every prani bhut. Arjun has asked as to which of the two is better worse bhakt. However, Sri Bhagavan only said that those who worship the Avyakt have to work harder, but those who worship the Vyakt, Sakar Parmeshwar, about him Sri Bhagavan is telling in the next three shlokas. What is happened to these who are worshipping the Sakar Paramatma? Bhagavan is going to tell in next 3 shloks. Now we will just briefly go over these 3 shloks, and next time we'll go into detail. So let's get into these 3 shloks. Ye tu sarvani karmani
ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्.
On the other hand, those bhakt who depending exclusively on me, surrendering all action to me, constantly worship only me, the Parmeshwar with attributes, means Sakar Parmeshwar, Paramatma, with Ananya Bhakti Yoga. Arjun, those Premi Bhakt who have their chit fixed in me, I speedily deliver them from the ocean of birth and death. They are taken out of this ocean of birth and death. Speedily, quickly. There is a word chir, nachira partha. It doesn't take any time. He's telling Parth, I don't take any time. I just immediately, instantly take him out of there. It takes no time for them to be saved from the cycle of birth and death. And next shlok.
मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः.
Therefore, he says, Arjun, fix your mind in me and establish your buddhi in me and me alone. Therefore, thereafter you will abide solely in me. Once your man and buddhi is established in me, you will abide solely in me. There is no doubt about it, Bhagavan says. Na sanshaya. There is no sanshaya. This is what will happen to you. Urdhvam. You become beyond all these devata and all the chakra. So, in these shlok, Bhagavan has described the pathway to moksha. How Jivatma can get moksha, attain moksha. We will continue from here the next time. Sri Krishna. Namaste.